What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Jeremy Wormy. I'm coming at you with a new video, and, well, in this one, Bella Ramsey, oh dear, Bella Ramsey has come out and done an interview with GQ, and I know I haven't done... I'm so freaking tired with The Last of Us, but she made some statements, and we'll go through it. And by the way, can we just address why is GQ doing all these articles with, you know, ladies when it's Gentlemen's Quarterly? Anyways, they started talking about season 2 of The Last of Us. Yeah. And how identity is important. Yeah, I'm not lying. They talk about identity and how identity is important, and most important in The Last of Us Part 2. Identity is a fundamental element in The Last of Us games, not least in Part 2. By this second chapter, Ellie is older, more grizzled, and in a relationship with a woman, Diana, something Ramsey hopes they'll explore in the recently announced second season of the show. There are a few bits with Ellie on her own, probably, but I like the fact that she also has Diana now. She says, despite the initial Venom Ramsey pre-premiere anxiety have largely made way for excitement. I mean, season 1 really was the best year of my life, she says. As the episodes come out, they bring back such a good memories. I'm nervous, of course, but I'm so excited to get the chance to do that again. Wow. She's also been quoted as saying, can't wait to do this with Pedro Pascal, her best friend. For those of you who don't know what happens in part 2 of basically the first hour? It doesn't even feel like the first hour. The first hour of The Last of Us Part 2, Joel gets his head bashed in. Yeah, a big muscle Abby bound person. Big, like, they took a girl's head and put it on a man's body. She comes in with a golf club and smashes in Joel's head. But, you know, why actually do any research? During her visit to LA, she got to sit in the writing room for season 2. It was so cool to hear them talk about ideas. I've watched quite a lot of gameplay of the second game just because I've been curious. I think the show will most likely follow the storyline of the game again. I don't think there's much need to fill in the gaps. Ooh. Season 2. We already knew this, but season 2 is going to be Last of Us Part 2. It will 100% be Last of Us Part 2, where Joel gets his head bashed in, where San Francisco is the trans utopia, even though trans characters don't make much sense in a apocalypse. Just saying. And Abby's body type doesn't make sense in it, but it gets better. Queer characters and their relationships are central to The Last of Us, especially in Part 2. From Ellie's relationship with Diana through to Lev, a trans teenager ostracized from his community in regressive religious sect. It doesn't make sense to have a trans character in a post-apocalypse. It doesn't! Sadly, we've already seen how a certain demographic of the internet continues to be deeply insecure about the mainstreaming of queer storylines. We don't freaking care about gay people or gay characters. We care about the freaking forced in propaganda that you do. They're going to talk about episode 3 now, and they're going to talk about how we're all just bigots for not liking certain moments in it, for not liking it, and I get it. Some people liked episode 3. You're allowed to like it. I didn't. I thought it took away from the actual story of Joel and Ellie. Completely. Anyways, that's besides the point. We don't care about the queer storylines. We care that you're pushing politics in it. Like I said, one of my favorite gay characters is Gus in Breaking Bad. fantastic character. Heck, that actor is amazing. I can never remember his name. Anyways, one of my favorite actors is Sir Ian McKellen. I don't have a problem with gay people. I have a problem with propaganda. The series' third episode broadly celebrated as a TV all-timer by you guys. That was a crap episode that took away from the important stories and basically turned Bill and Frank into nothing more than tokenized versions of themselves. They're just gay people. That's all they are. They're not characters. They're not defined by anything. And for crying out loud, Bill offs himself because Frank is dying. Whereas in the game, they vehemently hated each other. Focused on the decades-long relationship of two male survivors, Bill and Frank. I love that episode, Ramsey says. I was on the verge of tears throughout it and cried at the bit in the I cannot say this. Montage when they got married. Montage? I'm probably saying that wrong. I don't care. Despite the critical superlatives? The people that loved it. Despite all the people coming out and saying, it's the bestest ever. It's the greatest ever. Oh, so good. The episode was review bombed by users on the site like IMDb and Metacritic. I went through both sites. I did not see a single 1-star review. I saw some legit criticisms, about 2 stars, maybe 3 stars, where they're saying, hey, you took away from Bill and Frank, you changed the story, you tokenized these characters, you took away. Oh, don't listen to the actual criticisms. Don't listen to actual criticism, just call it review bombers. Drawing thinly veiled derision for elements of the online right. Actually, several of the reviews that I went through were talking about how they liked the original characters. They liked the fact that Bill and Frank were gay. They didn't have a problem with that. They had a problem with you bastardizing them and tokenizing them. Oh, but ignore that. Ignore the actual thing that they said. This suggests that the gurgling undercurrent of internet hostility will carry through to the second season, assuming those integral queer elements remain intact, though The Last of Us Part 2 is considered, like its predecessor, to be one of the greatest video games ever made by weirdos, because in actuality, Game Awards 2020. Yes, for crying out loud, The Last of Us Part 2 got so many awards. Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Game Narrative, Best Audio Design. What else can I point out? Innovation and accessibility. Oh yeah, Best Action / Adventure Game Ever. Yeah, these are just games given out by the journos. Yeah. But guess what? Guess what players actually liked? Guess what players actually gave? Player's voice, Ghost of Tsushima. Oh yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, which sold 2.4 million units worldwide in its first 3 days, when Last of Us Part 2 sold 2.8 million in a month. But hey, ignore that, because right now they're sitting about relatively the same size when you look them up, about 10 million. But Ghost of Tsushima also came out and constantly showed off all their sales records, when The Last of Us kind of didn't. And also, when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, a lot of people were pissed off because Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann knew what people wanted. They knew that they wanted a Joel and Ellie storyline, and instead what we got was Joel and Ellie getting completely destroyed. Joel basically getting his head... Well, not basically, definitely getting his head bashed in within the first hour. That game is critically panned by actual gamers. It was god-awful to destroy the actual narrative, but hey, ignore the puny plebs. Focus on what the critics and the approved people have to say. Its release was marred by backlash towards the Lev character arc and the masculine presentation of protagonist villain Abby, because it doesn't make logical sense in a post-apocalyptic world. None of it does. This is a world well into the future where it doesn't make sense to have trans Jengas and a very masculine girl who gets bung. Nick Rekieta played the game on stream and got claimed for sexual misconduct because he played through a scene where Abby's getting taken from behind and said it was two gay people and one. Because she looks so blatantly male. Gender diversity doesn't exist in Apocalypse or something. No. These ideas don't exist in Apocalypse. You don't have hormones as readily available in Apocalypse, and probably not at all. It was a vocal minority. But still, one could understand any resolution apprehension. Ramsey, however, is unmoved. I'm not particularly anxious about it, she says. I know people will think what they want to think, but they're gonna have to get used to it. If you don't want to watch the show because it has gay storylines, because it has trans characters, that's on you, and you're missing out. After all, she's no stranger to animosity. It isn't gonna make me afraid. I think that comes from a place of defiance. Well, I don't have a problem with trans characters. I don't have a problem with gay characters, lesbian characters, what have you. I have a problem with propaganda, and I have a problem with things just not making sense. And it's starting to look like season 2 will go full into part 2, but we already knew that. But it looks like it's going to be 1 for 1. And what I have to say is this is why. This is 100% why I'm watching anime now. I'm watching anime more and more, and I suggest you guys watch anime more and more because anime doesn't freaking care. But hey, you know, it's not like she just told me to basically go F myself and go off. Go somewhere else. I didn't like the 3rd episode. I thought it took away from the actual story between Joel and Ellie, but hey, who cares about that? Who cares about legitimate criticism? I'm just a bigot now. Let me get you guys' thoughts though down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.